whole year he's been out on parole. And Aashuutosh Srivastava, I understand that there is legal provision for such a parole to be granted, and that's every prisoner's right. But like I said, I mean, out of 5 years, if one whole year has been spent out, and in that 1 year, life goes on as usual for this particular individual who's a convict, what faith would people have in this judiciary, in this system that we have?
Yes, see, first of all, this parole has not been granted by any court as such. See, we know that, there is a Prisoners Act 1894, and as per that, the states have been given powers to frame their rules and regulations so far as parole is concerned. Now, in this particular case, as my friend rightly said, that the conduct of a person has to be ascertained, and based on the conduct and the previous parole, whether the conditions were breached by the accused who, or by the convicted person who took the benefit of parole has to be also seen by the authorities. And here, if you see the jail superintendent or the head of the prison, they have the right where the application is being filed by the convicted person, and they look into it whether the parole should be granted or not. So I think in this particular case, and considering the number of days for which the parole has been granted in totality for some years now, I think this may be challenged maybe by the victim's family or whatever before the appropriate court to look whether this parole should sustain or not. However, this has been given by the authority, considering the aspects which are required and the provisions and the conditions required for grant of such parole as prescribed under the law. So, I mean, this, as I said, is a, of course, it can give a wrong message to the society and the people at large. However, there are rules and regulations which are framed, which are required to be, utilized diligently by the authorities. And it is, of course, their discretionary power to grant such parole based on the application. And also, there are certain rules like within 6 months of the previous parole, the next parole cannot be granted. So I think they are following these rules and regulations while granting parole, but at the same time, they have to be cautious and they have to look that the people should, have the faith in the complete judicial system, and also, the authorities that they are, utilizing these rules and regulations in the interest
But
of
if
the
there's no appeal, Aashuutosh Srivastava, then like you said, it's not a court that has given this reprieve.